Hi, this is Andy Katz, host of March Madness 365, presented by Grammarly. This week on the podcast, tune in as we discuss March Madness players, upsets, matchups, and bracket busters. Listen to March Madness 365 with Andy Katz, presented by Grammarly, wherever you get your podcasts. Grammarly is a secure AI writing partner that gives your team an instant first draft in a few clicks, not a few hours. Companies that use Grammarly save an average of 19 days per employee per year. Grammarly works seamlessly across 500,000 apps and websites. Get personalized on-brand writing help everywhere your team works. Learn what better writing can do for your company at Grammarly.com. Grammarly, easier said, done.
I was getting ready to leave for the South, and I needed my leaves picked up. I mean, the property needed some help. This is the first year I actually needed a landscaper because I always had an adult child living home, and I didn't have any at the time.
That's why I had kids. But
This is the plaintiff, Karen Steinhaus. She says she prepaid the defendant to do yard work at her house and to take down a tree. The defendant took off with her money, never came back to do the yard work. She's since found out he has a criminal past and is suing him here and now for the $1,500 she's owed. This is the defendant, Don. He says he's been in the landscaping business for 35 years. 99% of his online reviews are 5 stars. And simply put, there was no pleasing this woman. When he arrived at the plaintiff's property, it was an awful mess. He did 95% of the work and was ready to return for the tree work. Next day, it was raining. You can't do tree work in the rain. The plaintiff went on a rant, and well, here he is. He's accused of not going out on a limb for a customer. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for money he's out.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You see it? Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
thank you, Douglas. Karen Steinhaus, you are suing Don. You've asked us not to mention your lawn care service name or your last name for $1,500 that you say you overpaid him and he refuses to repay you. You have a counterclaim against her for $5,000 for lost business and wages due to her trashing you on the site she found you on. Tell me what happened.
I'm a widow, and I went on a referral site online, and the only way I would have known of this defendant is that I saw him pop up, and he was the first to respond to my inquiry. He came to the property, we discussed snow plowing, but we moved forward because it was fall. I was getting ready to leave for the South, and I needed my leaves picked up. I mean, the property needed some help. This is the first year I actually needed a landscaper because I always had an adult child living home, and I didn't have any at the time.
That's why I had kids. But
he gave me a price to do the leaf pickup of $500.
This was when?
I don't know the precise dates, but I know he came and did the work on the date that I wrote the check, which I believe is submitted to you, Your Honor, and that would be the 10th of November of 2014.
Of 2014.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was probably a week before that we first.
Did you have a written contract with him or no?
No, this was all
so what was the agreement? He was going to do what for what?
Well, he was going to do the tree. I had a large tree that I needed a branch that I didn't want to leave overhanging my house when I went away, and he was looking at that, and I wanted some grasses, clumps of grasses moved around the pool area cleaned up, and I wanted my tree taken back so it wouldn't fall on my house while I was gone.
Okay,
and,
did you tell him that?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What are grasses moved around the pool?
Well, I have very overgrown large clumps of ornamental grass, and I wanted them like divided, and rather than all being in one area, I wanted them spread around the pool. He said no problem, and he said about $1,500 because it was so much per hour per man.
Okay, slow down.
And the leaf work, which he said was $500. So
wait, was all this you just said $500?
No. The leaf work was $500.
Okay, so that everybody's clear on that the leaf work was $500.
The leaf work was $500.
And how much was he going to charge charge you for the other two?
And $1,500 was what I was told verbally at that day was the price for the work that I had just discussed.
Which is the grass is moved around and the large tree
Right.
branch. Anything else?
No.
Okay. And then what happens?
Well, what happened was Don had come on that Saturday and had done a nice job picking up my leaves. And that was the $500 that I owed him. But because he said he could do this really quickly, and I was really concerned that I was leaving soon, and I was worried about my tree falling on my house, and I was worried about leaving my property without this work done, I was really happy to get him started. So
you paid him in full, even though he hadn't started?
yeah, I asked him how much he wanted. He said $2,000, and I don't know why. I mean, I just call me stupid. I wrote him a check for $2,000.
Right, but the $2,000 was including the $500?
Was everything, was the job.
Okay, did anybody ever cut your limb?
No, because
Did anybody ever move your ornamental grass?
No.
All right,
And
when do you decide, okay, I've waited long enough?
what happened was, because he didn't do it right away, he gave me time to get concerned because of my discomfort, because every time I spoke to Don, the price, the scope of the work seemed to change. The price was creeping up, and the scope of the work was going down. And I said,
Like, as in what? Those are your conclusions. Tell me what was said.
well, I don't think I can do all that for the price I quoted.
Okay.
And so that being the case, I decided to do my own research on him. And I went online, and I found some very unsavory things online that made me definitely not want this man on my property.
Such as?
I saw in a local newspaper that he'd been arrested for stealing a pair of boots out of a clothing store. And I said,
Like recently?
2014.
Really?
Yeah. And I said...
Were you arrested for stealing a pair of boots?
I wasn't arrested.
Were
no.
you in the newspaper for it?
Not that in my knowledge, no.
I can
Did
show
you get
the
into an
article.
incident that is boot related?
A boot. There may have been a case, but I don't remember.
No, that doesn't happen to me. Like, people aren't like
recall.
accidentally accusing me.
I wasn't in the paper, and I wasn't accused of.
Okay, but
having it.
what is she
Paper.
talking about?
I don't. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
let's-
To be honest with you.
Okay, how old are you?
54.
Okay, it has your name, 52, was charged with 6th-degree larceny for attempting to leave Bob's store on Saturday wearing a new pair of Timberland boots worth $159 he didn't pay for. He left his old boots in the Timberland shoebox and attempted to go through the register and pay for 2 small items before he was noticed by store personnel. He has a court date of May 16th.
Never went to court. Never.
Wait, but do you have any idea what I'm talking about there?
I never seen anything in the paper.
That's not my question.
I never had to go. I never went to court.
You're going to
for
make
it.
me get off the bench and look it up, right?
No, I don't want you to
Because
do
you
that.
kept saying, I don't know what this is about,
But
I don't know what this is, but you do know what it's about, so can you just tell me?
It was, I never went
Because I'm
back
not the
into
police. If you make me run, I get angry.
I shop there all the time. It's a local store. So what it was I was in there and I was shopping. So now I met a fellow friend of mine in there. We were talking, and I'm a landscape contractor. I put on a pair of boots, and it's the truth. So we talk and talk and talk, and my old pair of boots were in the box. I was walking out. I purchased other merchandise in there,
Okay.
not knowing what.
So you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
though.
I know the situation.
Okay, so you know
but
what
I
I'm
didn't
talking about.
rob
What
the
happened
boots.
with that case?
So the police did show up at the store, and then I was not able to go into the store anymore. And then the
Okay.
case was thrown out.
Okay, so
That
you
was
know
it.
what I'm talking about.
Well, the incident, yes.
Okay, what
But I
happened
didn't
here
rob the
with
boots.
this? What happened with her?
I go there, I do a job, I went over and above on work that we did. The job should have been double what I charged her. The place was like a bomb.
You're talking about the cleanup.
The cleanup,
And
leaves,
the cleanup was
everything.
November 10th.
Correct. I
And
sent
the
a
cleanup
full
was $500.
Yes.
So now you quote her $1,500 on, is that part accurate, on the tree limb and the
No, that
moving?
was for the whole job. That was for the whole job. There was a limb that had to come down. The next 3 days
So-
were totally rainy, impossible to
I'm
climb
sorry,
a
so
tree.
the whole quote was $1,500?
The whole quote was $2,000.
Was she paying you $2,000 for what? Give me the list of things you're supposed
What
to
I
do
just
for
said,
the...
cleaning a total fall cleanup, cutting down underbrush in the woods, which the guys did.
That's cleanup.
Correct. Cutting all the seagrasses down.
That's cleanup.
Right, so I'm saying
Okay,
what we
besides
did.
cleanup, what else?
Then the tree, there was one limb on a large
limb.
tree that had to come down,
Uh-huh.
but it was unsafe to go back the following 2 or 3 days because it was pouring rain. So I'm
Right.
not going to send
course
tree
not.
guys up there.
Of course
God
not.
forbid he falls and kills himself. I'm not going to have that happen.
What else?
And and cutting of the grasses, but we did cut the grasses. We just
Cutting
didn't
of the
we didn't-
grasses
we
or
didn't-
separating them out
We
and
cut them
moving-
down, but we didn't specifically know where to put them, where she
Okay,
wanted them.
but part of your agreement
Correct.
was to move them around.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
What occurred? Cleanup occurred.
Correct.
Tree limb and moving them around didn't occur.
No.
Okay. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So what happens? Why are you keeping the entire $2,000?
Because I feel like I'm not saying, we did 80% of the job.
Well, it's not 80% of the job.
The pool area was
Do
a
you guys have
disaster.
any texts back and forth regarding
No,
the
I don't.
500? Do you have in writing anywhere
Yes,
that
I do,
500
but
was
not,
for?
not with the defendant.
No.
Because this became so difficult, and when I did ask my money back, he hung up on me with a woman shrieking in the background. I decided I was not going to call him
Happy you?
again. And therefore, because I had used a referral service, I decided that was my first line of defense, was to contact them and tell them what happened. And they
The
were very...
referral service ended up returning 500.
No, I'll tell you what happened with the referral service. The referral service was in contact with the defendant, and that he actually said, the cleanup was for $500, and that he would be returning the difference of the services, the payment, which was $2,000. Don said things
Well,
were
the
going...
payment was $2,000, so meaning he would be returning $1,500.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me about what happens with the referral service.
So what happened was she must have called them up, and they credited her $500. Now, they shut
but
me.
did they talk to you before doing
They
that?
talked to me about the work that I've done. So I told them the situation, and now they...
According to them, you said two things. One, cleanup was $500. Did
Yeah.
you say that to them?
No.
And two, that you would return $1,500 to her.
Not to my knowledge, no.
May I see the email? When the customer care advisor sends her an email saying that he personally spoke to you on November 17th regarding the complaint, and that you had confirmed that she overpaid and that the additional work wasn't going to be performed, that the cleanup was $500 and you'd be returning the difference, you're saying that this customer care advisor made up that whole thing?
I didn't say that to him, no.
Okay, what has that referral company done to you now?
They shut me down.
They shut you.
Because they gave her $500, and they want me to pay the $500 that they paid her.
And?
Until that $500 is paid, no leads come into my office anymore. Because out of $500 that they credited her, they won't give me any more leads until that $500 is paid off.
May I just interject
so I have
something?
to pay them.
Yeah, you can.
He keeps referring this, that they credited me. That was, in my understanding, it was a good faith payment to me because of the difficulties I had with using their service and on this referral. And no way
May I
reflected.
see something about that $500? All right, so now your counterclaim against her for $5,000. Please explain that.
I have no calls coming in
Yeah,
for the
but
past
so
month
you're
and a
asking
half.
to be paid $5,000 in damages because you wouldn't come up with $500 to
No, it's not
to
because
stop
I
the
wouldn't come up with
damages?
$500. It's that the money that I generate doing clean. I have a big business, so the money the calls I haven't got called in on.
In other words,
for
you
the
could
last month
solve
and a
it with
half
$500 by paying them. Why is it $5,000?
because of the money. I think I could have generated more than $5,000.
If you could have generated 10 times
I
that,
would've been
why didn't you just pay the $500?
Principal.
Well, you sure showed everybody.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, suppose you have a landscaper and you find out he's arrested for theft. You going to not hire him because of that?
I don't think it would bother me, but he's just mowing my lawn.
He's just mowing your lawn. You buying that?
Well, I'd want to know more details, like how long ago did it happen? Like if
Let's say he's a thief, but he's mowing your lawn like she says. Would it bother you?
no.
Bother you?
No, as long as he's cheap.
As long as he's cheap. Going inside the courtroom.
So really what this is a settlement between you and the referral
Yes,
company
that I should
for
not,
the $500.
Right, that I should not badmouth.
So you cannot sue
Take
them.
them to court or whatever.
Okay, but see, when you come into court and you talk about damages, that's not something I'm not going to take into account. I am going to take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean then that your damages have been reduced by an additional $500 because you don't deny that you got the $500 that you say
No.
of original work, and then your damages have been reduced by $500, which would mean that what you're out is $1,000, not $1,500. So on your lawsuit against him, I'm ordering you to pay her back $1,000 for the services that were never done. In so doing, I am taking into account what the customer service relations people say were your conversations with them because I don't think that they are lying. I'm also taking into account that when I ask you questions, it's very hard to get a direct answer, okay? On your counterclaim against her for losing $5,000 in damages, 0. That is my verdict, $1,000, verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
The plaintiff gets 2/3 of what she sued the defendant for, and here he is, the fastest talking defendant in People's Court history.
Oh, come on.
What's your reaction here?
You know, we do a job. Nothing was signed, nothing was written. I try to go above and beyond and help the woman out. And again, weather's a big factor in my business. It was totally impossible to do the work to finalize the job after, the 3 days of rain, and she, went back and forth with harsh words. One thing led to another, and I just severed it, and again, didn't go back, and things happened. That's why I'm here. So I guess hope everything came out right, and there's no hard feelings, you know what I mean? So I tried to do the best I can, and that was it.
Period. Okay.
Did I talk slow enough on that one?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so step on in here. It's kind of funny, but is it funny to you? Yeah, you're good. What's your feeling here?
Well, I'm really gratified because I'm old school. My dad was a blue-collar man. He was a contractor, and his word was his life, And when I see that going awry today, it's really nice to know that law still does favor.
Mm-hmm. The word is not legal all the time. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, you should know when you are not honest with the judge about one thing, what happens is it affects your credibility with everything else. Not worth the lie. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hi, this is Andy Katz, host of March Madness 365, presented by Grammarly. This week on the podcast, tune in as we discuss March Madness players, upsets, matchups, and bracket busters. Listen to March Madness 365 with Andy Katz, presented by Grammarly, wherever you get your podcasts. Grammarly is a secure AI writing partner that gives your team an instant first draft in a few clicks, not a few hours. Companies that use Grammarly save an average of 19 days per employee per year. Grammarly works seamlessly across 500,000 apps and websites. Get personalized on-brand writing help everywhere your team works. Learn what better writing can do for your company at Grammarly.com. Grammarly, easier said, done.
This is the plaintiff, Ilana Cohen-Zod. She says she hired the defendant to be a handyman in her 23-unit building, and he told her he was licensed and insured. Well, he wasn't. He did work on some of the bathrooms, and now they're leaking. Her tenants are complaining. His work was most definitely not up to par, and she wants him to return all the money she paid him. She's suing for $3,356.84, the amount she's due. This is the defendant, Corey Lowery. He says he never told the plaintiff he was licensed nor insured, and she must have just assumed he was. He did a lot of work for the plaintiff, never heard a complaint, and finds the timing of this lawsuit very suspicious. You see, he cut his finger on one of the jobs, filed a complaint against the plaintiff, she lost, was fined $16,000, and now he's being sued? Please. He's accused of not making the cut.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant as a handyman. She says he screwed up her building, but the defendant says this is revenge because he filed a complaint against her and she lost. It's the case of Handy Ain't Dandy.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, man.
Okay, Ilana Cohen-Zod, you are suing Corey Lowery for $3,356.84 for repairs that he did to various apartments that, according to you, did not work. Tell me what's going on.
I used to own a few apartment units in a complex, and since it was going through bankruptcy, they didn't do any repair.
You were going through bankruptcy?
No, the complex. It was a co-op.
Oh, a co-op.
Yeah.
All right. So you owned how many units did you own? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, 23.
23 in the co-op?
Yes.
How many were in the whole thing?
100.
And it went bankrupt?
Yes.
Sorry to hear it. Okay, so according to you, you hired him to do repairs.
Well, Corey was my tenant in March 2013. And then in April, he offered himself as a handyman.
When are these repairs? Like $750 for a bathroom repair in Unit 303. When?
April 23, 2013.
And you're suing about it now?
Yes.
Okay, what was wrong with the repair?
When I found out later on that the bathtub was still leaking and there was still leak from the roof, from the ceiling. Not for this one. No.
Okay. Then you're suing for $1,030 from a roof repair in Unit 517. When was that?
May 17, 2013.
Why are you suing now?
I was going through all the bankruptcy and all the procedures, and I was very busy. And
okay. So the roof repair in Unit 416 for $550 is when?
May 17.
Of 2013?
Yes.
How about the closet repair in unit 416 of $190?
Yeah, it was in May 28.
When did you find out that all the repairs he had done were terrible?
Well, I went on vacation June and I came back end of July. And by August, September, when I came back and I was in touch with my tenants, that's when they told me.
Okay, well, what about the repair? I assume that if these repairs were all done poorly, that you have paid other people to redo them, because it's been years. So do you have the receipts from paying other people to redo them?
No, I didn't redo them. I didn't pay to redo them.
So you just left the thing leaking for 2 years?
It was in the balcony.
Okay. The bathroom repair was not in the balcony, unless this is a really ritzy place to the tune of which I cannot understand. I don't get it. The bathroom repair is not in the balcony. The roof repair, I don't know, I guess it could be a closet, is probably not in the balcony. So what's going on?
I moved in March in one of her units. Later on, I found out it wasn't her unit, and they auctioned it back off to the complex. And I started working for her.
Did you do the repairs she's talking about?
Yes.
Did you do them right?
Yes.
Why is she saying 2 years later that you did them wrong?
Because September of 2013, I was working in one of her units and I cut my finger off.
Your whole finger?
Yeah.
Which finger?
My index, left index. They reattached it.
Okay.
And she didn't want me to tell them that I was working for her. She wanted
tell who?
The hospital, because they wanted to know who was going to pay for the surgery to repair my finger.
Okay.
She tried to get out of it to force me to get a lawyer and sue her.
Did you sued her under what theory? A workers' compensation, that she should have had insurance?
Yes.
Did you win?
Yes.
When did you win? Recently?
I won in 2014.
Oh, and then was there an appeal taken?
Yes, she appealed.
Did the appeal just end?
Yes.
By golly, we figured it out. We have figured it out. How much money did you win in that lawsuit?
I haven't got anything yet.
But how much are you supposed to get?
Around $25,000.
From whom? Her personally?
I don't workman comp, as far as I know.
Well, but did she wouldn't have had workers' comp for you, right?
She didn't have any insurance at all. And they fined her $16,000 for not.
Did you get a fine?
Yes.
Of $16,000? Yes. Is that why you decided to look back at work he did all these other years ago and say he owes you $3,356.84? Because you're sounding like a liar right now.
So, she now is suing this guy after she got fined. You buying her story?
No.
Because?
I think she's trying to get money back.
I guess the question is, would she be pissed at him because she gets fined because he doesn't get the fine?
Absolutely, because otherwise she would have complained about the work and she wouldn't have paid him if she thought he really did a good job.
That is a fair point. That is a fair point. Going inside the courtroom.
I'm not a liar.
No.
I have testimony.
It's just a coinky-dink. Doesn't that put the dink in coinky-dink? You just lost the appeal to a workers' comp, I guess, kind of, I don't know, case, where you are not only is somebody suing you for $25,000, but you also got a $16,000 fine. You've lost all your co-ops. And now you're turning around and suing him for repairs from 2 and something years ago. And it's not just sour grapes, right? That's not it?
No, that's not it.
All right. Well, then why don't you show me a little proof of anything that you're saying?
Okay. I also, I ordered screens, and he never gave me back my screens. I paid $200 for the screens.
Do you have any of her screens?
No.
Okay.
I have text.
Yo, that was not me talking yesterday. I know, that's why I didn't say anything. I need the screens in your car. Can you drop them at 4:15? Thank you. October 14th, 2013, answer, okay. I'm coming to pick up the window screens like a month later that I paid $200 and it's on your position. If you don't reply to Mr., I assume that was me, within 3 days I will go to police. Since your wife just called me now and told me to wait. This is his wife. Do what you gotta do. Good night. Are you the wife?
Yes.
Stand up, please. What's this about?
I was just told to say that. Because,
by who, him?
No, not by him. Because she was calling him, harassing him, and then
yeah, but in one of them he says okay. Says okay. So what does that mean? Where are the screens?
The screen, everything I did for her, the screens.
I know, but why are you saying okay then?
Everything
do you have this in your phone? Because I don't like. Do you have it in your phone? Show it to me in your phone. What you looking at over there?
Everything I did. If it ain't in my receipt, it was installed. It was either installed or I never touched it.
That's not an answer. I need to know why you're texting her back. She says that this is a text, and I'm going to try to verify it inside of her phone, where you say, yo, that was not me talking yesterday. And we know your wife was taking your phone and answering her because apparently she's hearing voices who tell her to do. If it's not him, who are you listening to who tell you to answer that? You were told by whom?
I wasn't told by him. I was just telling her that.
You were told by whom that you should answer that?
I wasn't told by nobody.
Yes, you can.
So why were you answering instead of letting him?
Because I answered his phone because he works at night. So I was answering his phone.
Okay.
I just said that to her just so that she'll leave us alone.
Had you seen that he had said okay?
No, I didn't go
October
back.
14th.
I didn't go back
Here
in
we
the
go.
backlogs.
Yo, that was not me talking yesterday. Her answer. I know. That's why I didn't say anything. I need the screens in your car. Can you drop them at 415 Crystal? Thank you. And your answer is okay. Do you have any proof of what you paid for the screens?
Yeah, it's right there. It's been since July he has the screens.
I need you to give me an answer on the screen issue because this is like black and white.
Where it started was after I cut my finger off, she came to my apartment.
What day did you cut your finger?
9/11, 2013.
Wow.
Shortly thereafter, she kept coming at me, and then she mentioned my wife's name. When she mentioned my wife's name, my wife came out of the room, and I shut up, and I shut up and let my wife deal with it. My wife told her about, why you coming here for rent when I done cut my finger off, you're not trying to help me out or nothing, you just want to distance yourself from me and trying to hide.
How did you cut your finger off?
The saw kicked back. While I was cutting a piece of wood and the saw kicked back. And I called her the same day, told her I went to the hospital. After that, she was trying to avoid me. She didn't want to, trying to get me to tell the hospital that I wasn't working for her.
At some point, there was a hearing in somewhere, and she got fined. Do you have the paperwork from that?
Yeah.
Let me see. If you're going to talk, you need to stand up, not shout from the chair. And this is through what?
This is all through workman's comp.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
The reason I lost at workers' comps is because I went without a lawyer.
Oh, that'll show you.
That's true. When he was my tenant, he was my tenant since March, and already June, July, he owed me money in August.
But you're not suing for that. You're suing for repairs. Listen, it's simple. You're suing because you want back money that you paid the guy 2 years ago. Because according to you, you were busy, and that's why you hadn't filed the lawsuits. And I'm learning that that's not true, that you only filed this after you got fined $16,000 by the government for not having workers' compensation insurance. So, it kind of sounds like you're making this up because you're angry that you lost. And it kind of sounds that way because it is that way, with the exception of the $200 for screens.
Yeah, but I didn't have any. I didn't have any screens at that time.
We're done. You owe her $200 for screens. $200 verdict for the plaintiff. Everything else goes your way. That's my point.
Okay, so the plaintiff gets for the screens, but that's it. What's your reaction?
I'm disappointed because I know that I told the truth, but I didn't have enough evidence to prove it.
You're mad at him for winning that case against you, aren't you?
Yes.
What would you be willing to do to get back at him? Take him into court? Try to get some money out of him, maybe? Something like that? No comment?
No.
All right, good. All right. No comment. All right, so step in here, sir, and right next to me right here, okay? Come on over here. You're satisfied how this comes out?
Yeah, I'm just glad it's over with.
Okay, what do you think is the scenario going on here?
She's just mad because she didn't have any insurance, and I got a lawyer and sued her.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't spoken to her.
Let's see that index finger.
Huh?
Let's see that thing. Hold it up so they can get a good look at it. Here. Turn it around this way. Yeah, do it like that. That doesn't look too straight.
It's not.
Straight.
How's it working? Is it?
I can't bend it.
Yeah.
I won't be able to bend it again. It's 75%.
Mm-hmm. But you're still working, right?
Yes.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, I gotta say, even though she got $200, she made this story up. Make no mistake about it, she is the loser. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Whitman Kyer. He says the defendant ruined his coat while dry cleaning it and then tricked him into signing something which states he'll only pay him $22.50 for the coat. Since the coat's worth $500, that's an insult to his intelligence. And he's here suing him today for the $500 he's owed. This is the defendant, John Downs. He says the coat had a manufacturer's defect because he followed the dry cleaning instructions on the label to a T. The plaintiff also agreed to accept 10 times the cleaning as compensation for the coat, did not accept the money, and decided to take his chances in court today instead. He's accused of not taking a complaint about a coat seriously.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the dry cleaner ruined his coat and only offered him $22.50. But the defendant says he followed the dry cleaning instructions to the T. It's the case of small claims coat.
Thank you, Douglas. Whitman Kyer?
Yes.
You are suing the dry cleaners. You've asked us not to mention your name, represented here by John Downs. You're the manager?
Yes.
Okay. For $500, the value of a coat that they damaged. So you took your jacket over there to be cleaned, correct?
That's correct.
And that was when?
On February 7th.
Okay. And had you used that cleaners before?
Yes, I had.
All right. And you'd always been happy?
Always.
Okay. So, and how many years had you been using them?
We've been doing business for approximately 13 years.
Oh, wow. Is that accurate? He was just always there, good customer?
Yes.
All right. So what happened?
I don't know exactly what happened, but when I went to pick up my garments, my shirts were fine, but the attendant at the counter informed me that Mr. Downs wanted to see me, and he came over and he said there had been an accident and my coat had been damaged. So he brought it out to me, and when I saw the coat, I was really taken aback because it wasn't just damaged. It was completely destroyed.
How had it been damaged?
Well, I'll show it to you.
Let me see it, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, goodness, that's the coat? I thought it was in a brown paper bag. What kind of coat is this?
It's a down polo.
That's kind of ironic. Mr. Downs, what happened to the down coat? U.S. Polo Association. When you kept saying polo, I thought you meant Ralph Lauren. What is this?
It is.
Oh, it is Ralph Lauren.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It says U.S. Polo Association. Oh, my goodness. It's crackling and popping like a cereal.
And before taking it there, I took the hood off so that it wouldn't be damaged. And this is the quality of the hood before.
Oh. I'm pretty clear this isn't how you buy. Did you buy this coat?
That was a gift from my son.
Do you have the receipt for it?
No, I don't.
So what happened?
We dry cleaned it like we normally do. We follow all care labels that says it can be dry cleaned.
Right.
So I stated when it picked up that it's a manufacturer defect. There's something in the manufacturer.
Had you ever had this dry clean? I'm sorry. Have you ever had this dry clean before?
It has been dry
By
cleaned.
them?
By them.
It didn't come back like this?
No, it didn't.
And
No,
according to you, no. And according to you, yes. Can you prove what you're saying? That you've had it dry cleaned by them?
I don't know exactly when.
And why are you saying no? How do you know?
Because we dry cleaned it and that happened. If it was dry cleaned before, that would have happened just then.
Well, I guess that's the point, that perhaps, is it possible that something went wrong in the dry cleaning process?
No, we use the same
why
process.
is it only on one part and not all of it? Like it's just like portions that are...
I can't explain. We use a chemical solvent called perchloroethylene, which some certain synthetic solvents, plastics, it melts, adhesives. Polyester is a naturally stiff fiber, so they use softener when they manufacture it. Some softeners are not dry cleanable.
But this, and so why did you dry clean this jacket?
It says it can be dry cleaned.
Okay, well in the care instructions here it says, machine wash separately, use warm water, no chlorine bleach, tumble dry low, use cool iron, can be dry cleaned, it says.
Now, also on the receipt that he gave me back, it says that that he tried to do it over.
Do it over?
No, I printed you up. No, I printed up a do-over ticket so he could acknowledge that we had a damaged coat still here because he left the coat with me
What
first.
do you mean?
I printed up a do-over ticket because he kept the coat at the
What's a
cleaners.
do-over ticket?
As in, if somebody doesn't like what we did,
you're going to do it over?
We do it over for them, no charge.
Okay, how are you going to do over that?
No, I left.
No, seriously, I don't understand.
No, it wasn't a do it. It was acknowledge that we had the piece in our possession. Because he didn't take it with him the first time.
Okay, and then what? You had him sign, okay, where does the original ticket say?
I have it right here.
Okay, like most dry cleaners, their dry cleaning receipt that you get says on the back, and nobody ever I couldn't read it without a magnifying glass. Nobody ever reads it, but what it says is that your damages will be limited to 10 times the dry cleaning cost. But you don't even feel that you should pay that, correct? Did you ever offer that to him?
As it also states, we cannot assume responsibility in inherent weaknesses or defects in materials.
Because your position is that you didn't do anything wrong because it says dry cleaning.
Yes.
What do you suppose they did wrong?
So dry cleaner followed the instructions. Does the dry cleaner win?
No, he should know the textiles and whether they can be washed or not.
Yeah, but the tag says you can dry clean it.
That's fine. You should still know what can be washed and not if that's your profession.
I don't know about that. Going inside the courtroom.
You don't have to scientifically prove what they did wrong, but you'd have to prove that they did something wrong. And if the tag says can be dry cleaned, and it clearly cannot, why isn't he right that you should seek
well, the manufacturer has a
Plus,
30...
you've come in here, by the way, with zero proof of what the garment is worth. You know, I mean,
Well, I do have I did go on the Ralph Lauren website.
Okay.
And the coat is valued at approximately $500 to $695.
Okay. Can I see that? You are a snappy dresser, I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
No, seriously. Why couldn't you dress up more for court? Well, I don't know if it's the same coat, but in any event.
I also informed him in this type of situation, I would type up a letter stating what we did, and he would bring the coat with the receipt of purchase back to the store where it bought, where then they would either replace the refund.
How long ago did your son buy it?
That was a Christmas gift dating back to, I think it was 2013 or 14.
Okay, you do understand also that there's depreciation.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
But I went through Consumer Affairs, and Mr. Downs and their establishment refused to even sit down and negotiate. That's the reason why I went through small
Well, he feels they didn't do anything wrong. You know, I honestly, without some expert testimony on your part from someone saying that they must have done something wrong, I mean, I just the very act of using. Do you know how dry cleaning works? Well, actually, you tell us. How does dry cleaning work? I don't want to botch it.
Right. It's called dry cleaning because it's done in a chemical solvent versus no water.
Okay, but it's immersed in a liquid chemical solvent.
Yes.
Right. Like everybody thinks it's all in a dry chamber. It's maybe not everybody. Maybe just my untrained mind thought that. All right. So what happens?
It's basically a giant washer machine, but it's done with a solvent. It's got filters.
So instead of using water,
yes,
it uses the chemical solvent.
Yes.
And the chemical, and then everybody's clothes is tagged.
Yes.
Right. So like my clothes is in there with everybody else's clothes.
Yep. 80 pounds.
And then after everything is over, you take them out, and by tag you sort out what belongs to what customer.
Yes.
But it's actually just like, you know.
It's done in, it's actually short cycle. The machine goes from dry to dry in 30 minutes.
Dry to dry in 30 minutes. And actually it was like totally, do you know the origin of dry cleaning? You should, you're a manager. I just read that today. So, like a lot of things, it was discovered by accident when someone spilled kerosene on a garment and said, oh my gosh, look how much cleaner it is. At least that's what I read. Garbage in, garbage out. It could be wrong. I'm sure we'll get letters. So if an item says it can be dry cleaned, and it was, and this is what happened, you should be getting a brand new coat from the Polo folks. Write the letter for me. I know it's been kind of nasty. You refused, he feels like you refused to negotiate. He feels like, negotiate what? I didn't do anything wrong.
No, I offered to write him the letter at first.
Do me a favor. I'd like you to write the letter, because your only recourse is going to be against the people who say it was dry cleanable, and it clearly wasn't. This is a chemical reaction from the solvents to what's in the code. Okay? We're done. Verdict for the defendant. Good luck, folks.
Very, very hard to prove that the defendant did anything wrong and caused this damage to the coat. Here, step up a little bit and give us your feeling on the outcome here, this verdict.
Well, I felt he could have made me a much more fair offer for the coat since it was never damaged before. And this is the second time he's cleaned the coat. So,
what would have been a fair offer?
I would have $200-300.
Mm-hmm. And he offered you $22.50, and that was it.
$22.50, and that was it.
That insulted you, and that caused this whole thing to happen.
It certainly did.
All right. So, what do you do with the coat now?
Nothing I can do. No. Just throw it away.
Throw it away.
That's all I can do.
That's too bad. Okay, right around the corner this way. All right. So step on in here. Here's the cleaner man, and what's your feeling on the outcome?
Everybody's first attempt is to blame the dry cleaners, but it's not always our fault.
Is it ever your fault?
Yes, if we don't follow the care label.
Mm-hmm. What do you think happened to his coat? What happened?
I'm not sure. I can't explain it.
All right. Good luck next time.
Thank you.
Harvey?
Okay, no, Kurt. Okay, a couple of updates here. Update number one, the defendant did not write the letter, okay? Second update is that the plaintiff did not get the money back from Ralph Lauren, so he is ultimately the loser.
Hi, this is Andy Katz, host of March Madness 365, presented by Grammarly. This week on the podcast, tune in as we discuss March Madness players, upsets, matchups, and bracket busters. Listen to March Madness 365 with Andy Katz, presented by Grammarly, wherever you get your podcasts. Grammarly is a secure AI writing partner that gives your team an instant first draft in a few clicks, not a few hours. Companies that use Grammarly save an average of 19 days per employee per year. Grammarly works seamlessly across 500,000 apps and websites. Get personalized on-brand writing help everywhere your team works. Learn what better writing can do for your company at Grammarly.com. Grammarly, easier said, done.